Yo, 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 Big Cash back up in here. Rapperholics is back in the building and about to explain to us about the Drake Ghostwriter situation. Yeah, y'all know them reference tracks been dropping back to back, drop. Them reference tracks is all over the place, man. This is why Dot say, you don't have none. You ain't got no classics. You know why? Because you got ghostwriters writing your shit. While I'm sitting up here, I'm writing all these songs myself. You up there, you got reference tracks, ninja. That's why you got all this energy. Cause you ain't putting in no brain power to write your own shit. Yeah, shout out to Rapperholics. I'm gonna leave a link in the description. Y'all know I like holding y'all. Without further ado, let's get it.
Now, when it comes to lobries and gentlegrams and
hey, bro. I think everybody gonna be doing fantastic hip hop, man. Hey, now when it comes to Drake, hey, Rapperholics is on. Hey, I rock with Rapperholics, man. Hey, look, that's how you do it, bro. Hey, look, you know what I mean? You gotta throw them out there. You gotta let them know that you here too, bro. You know what I mean? Hey, it would be dope if we get a little response from fantastic hip hop, but here, it might be a damn computer. I don't know. You never know. That might be AI. I don't know. Until I hear a nice little shout out somewhere to if fantastic hip hop do a shout out to Rapperholics or something like that, then I know it ain't AI. It ain't AI. Let's get
now, when it comes to lobries and gentlegrams, in today's episode of Lobry in Gentleland, I could dig rapping, but a rapper with a ghostwriter, what the F happened? The Gaveling Graham got a glimmer of guilt as ghostwriting rumors rummaged his already ruined reputation for writing. The courthouse Karen got caught with Quentin Miller many millenniums ago, but maintained his mission of making the most massive manufacturing sweatshop in music. And today, the Teenage Fever freaky frontlining phony Montana
Teenage Fever.
Anna Marilyn Monroe v. Ho might have been exposed for more ghost
Monroe v. Ho.
writing. Or it all might be hoax writing. Now drop a like and subscribe for my
Hoax
dope
writing.
writing. Now this is a sad day, lobbies and gentlegrams. But much to your surprise, I will actually be defending Drake in certain aspects of this video today. Because there are some brand new ghostwriting rumors, but I'm holding out hope that they're complete cap. And at this point, we do not have enough proof to say they're real.
I did say that somebody could have rapped on that beat afterwards, but you know what I'm saying? Hey, look, it's better when we say that Drake got ghostwriter. I think it make my teeth whiter.
But, of course, we're going to break everything down. Let's first peel this thing back layer by layer, because obviously Lobry has a long history of using ghostwriters, underpaying them, and if he's not using ghostwriters, he's stealing other people's melodies, flows.
He said, hey, Rapperholics, let me find out that you be writing for Drake, man. Let me find out, man. Let me find out.
Lyrics, sometimes literally bar for bar. I have a whole video I'm going to be dropping soon where we dissect many instances where Lobry is blatantly stealing rhymes and melodies from other artists, and these other artists calling him out, because this has been happening since the beginning of his career. But in this video, we'll mainly focus on his history with reference tracks. Obviously, reference tracks are when you have an artist recording a sort of skeleton version of a song for another artist. Now, to Drake's credit, we have seen him do this for other artists, mainly Kanye West. This is him recording Kanye's song Yikes.
Menacing, frightening, find help, I scare myself.
And as you could see, Drake's version is attacked from a whole different perspective, right? Like, the melody is slowed down, the vocal inflections are different, the lyrics are different at some points, there's a pre-chorus which Kanye didn't include in the final version, and that's what a reference track is supposed to.
See, I was under the assumption that a reference track is like, say you in the studio, right? You got writer's block. You need some encouragement. You need something like an idea, something to vibe off. You know what I mean? You got writer's block. You don't know where you're going. And you listen to some other music just to get an idea of a feel. You know what I'm saying? I thought that's what a reference track was
supposed to be, right? It's supposed to be you kind of concocting a demo or a rough version of a song. And then another artist takes what you did, flips it, makes it their own, makes it original, and makes a final product out of it. This is very big in like the pop and the R&B world, right? A lot of big artists have a ghostwriter. Some rappers even started off as ghostwriters, like Tory Lanez came in the game writing hooks for artists like Travis Scott, even Akon, August Alsina. So it's the standard and it's accepted within R&B and pop.
Saha the Prince is official ghostwriter. He's official. He can really rap.
But when it comes to hip-hop, or when it really just breaks down
Cameron
or
too.
boils down to calling yourself a great writer, right? Hip-hop or not, if you take pride in your penmanship, regardless of the genre, it adds a certain blemish to your background if it's later revealed that someone else was writing your stuff for you. Now, with Drake, he kind of blurs the line between an R&B artist, a pop artist, and a hip-hop artist, right? So before we actually get into, every ghostwriting rumor Drake was exposed for, let's actually break it down from the perspective of, is ghostwriting a bad look for Drake considering the type of artist he is? Well, if he's a pop star, then that's standard protocol, right? And he literally has a song called Pop Star. He raps on a song with 2 Chainz saying, got the Billboard melodies, rap is something I do on the side, crossed over to the other side, and I didn't even have to die. This was during the Views era where we got some of Drake's most pop-sounding hits. One Dance, Controlla, Too Good, Child's Play, like these were all repetitive, formulaic, poppy hits. And I think we could categorize Drake's music into 4 categories. The R&B records, the pop records, the bangers, and...
Hey, pay attention. It's about to get complicated. It's about to get now, okay, Drake ain't a rapper. He said, this is a question that I have. Why is it okay for R&B people or whatever, people who sing, they can have ghostwriters and it's cool, but with hip hop and rap, it's not. But I would say this. That's what rap is based off, like being original. You know what I'm saying? You gotta have your own stuff. So I just answered my own question. Yeah, you gotta have your own stuff. See, like Whitney Houston, people wrote for her. Wrote. She got a lot of songs from underground people, but that was okay because there wasn't no standards. You know what I'm saying? But in hip hop, it's based off who are you as an artist. Like you got to be your own individual. You know what I mean?
The timestamp records. And I'm doing this to emphasize how bad it would be if the music from one of these 4 categories was written by a ghostwriter. Can you guess which one that would be? Well, let's go through them. You have the pop records, right? Again, like I said before, it's very standard that a Billie Eilish or a Rihanna or a Katy Perry would have someone writing their music with them or for them. And Drake, of course, is the Canadian Katy Perry. So with his pop records, you could say it's permissible that, he has some help on the writing side of things. Then with the R&B records, I think it's a little more frowned upon because those records are usually a little more personal. Think like a Marvin's Room or a Shot for Me. But we know since the beginning of Drake's career, he's both had people writing R&B records for him and he's written R&B records for other people. Think about The Weeknd writing the majority of the R&B records off of Take Care. Or think of Drake writing R&B records for Jamie Foxx like Fall For Your Type, or Unthinkable by Alicia Keys, or I'm Single by Lil Wayne, or R.I.P. by Rita Ora. Like, there are plenty of instances of Drake writing R&B records. So
what if they just like Drake's ghostwriters and Drake got his ghostwriters under a contract with though that they can't do business with nobody? That's what I always thought. I thought that they could, okay, Drake, could we use your ghostwriters? That's and Drake get the credit for it because he has his ghostwriters in a damn sweatshop under contract. They can't write for nobody else. You know, but that's what I always thought. That's what when everybody say, yeah, Drake wrote this for me, I'm thinking that, his ghostwriter's written it. You know what I mean? They can't write for nobody because they under a contractual agreement.
So if he really approaches it as this quote-unquote collaborative process, like he says he does, where, there's other artists in the studio, they're bouncing ideas off each other, sometimes he takes inspiration from them, sometimes vice versa, they take inspiration from him, then fine, Chris Brown in the mid-2000s was one of my favorite R&B artists, and he got a lot of help on some of his biggest hits. I don't think that takes as much away from him, but you do have this nasty pattern, which was very evident on Take Care, of the artists that end up collaborating with Drake not being too happy with how the final product turns out. We saw this with The Weeknd, right? The Weeknd felt like he was robbed of some of his most important songs. Songs like Shot For Me, songs like Good Ones Go, Crew Love, Doing It Wrong, I believe, was also written by The Weeknd. Like, This was when he was first entering the game, right? During his House of Balloons era, that was his first mixtape. And Drake took a lot of the songs that were meant for that project and just slapped them onto Take Care. Just sung over The Weeknd's vocals. Sometimes he featured The Weeknd in the background or doing the hook. But ultimately, Take Care was a massive look and a step up for Drake. It wasn't as much of a spotlight for The Weeknd. He very much played a backseat. So much so to the point that people thought The Weeknd was one of Drake's artists. And then 15 years later, he's on records thanking God he never sold his life away. So it says a lot about how a lot of Drake's collaborators behind the scenes, not the ones that we see, not the Nicki Minaj's and the Lil Waynes, Drake did a lot of collaborations with them, but it was always an equal playing field. I'm talking about the writers who are deeply behind the scenes, in the trenches, in those OVO sweatshops, ghostwriting for Drake. A lot of those guys don't ever truly seem satisfied. So it's not just the problem of it's bad that Drake as an artist gets all this credit but doesn't actually write his rhymes. What's even worse is the fact that the guys behind the scenes who are writing the music aren't getting their just due, aren't getting their proper credit, and are being mistreated. We could see that with the next category of Drake records, the bangers, right? These are the rap tracks that aren't necessarily bar heavy, the non-stops, the 10 bands, 0 to 100. In my opinion, some of Drake's best records are done in this subgenre where he's just talking crazy. It's an aggressive, hard-hitting beat. He's got an energetic hook, quotables all throughout the verses. Songs like We Made It, Trophies, Believe Me, Underground Kings, Worst Behavior. And when you think of this subgenre for Drake, you really think, if you're reading this, it's too late. That was the project where he completely pivoted from the more softer, darker R&B records to basically straight bangers for a 20-song track list. Come to find out, of course, that, to this day, we actually still don't know what percentage of that track list wasn't actually written by Drake, but we know.
The joints that ain't even bar heavy, the joints that, those joints that he just listed, I think a couple of those got ghostwriter. What's the dude name? Is his name Rory or something? Maury? I forgot the dude name. Yeah, he was writing a lot of that stuff.
Know that a lot of it wasn't. We could go through what we already know. The first song, the intro, Legend, was written by Party Next Door. The second song, and the third song, and the fourth song, and I think even the fifth song, Energy, 10 Bands, Know Yourself, and No Telling, I believe were all written by Quentin Miller. That's the first 5 songs of this project. The 10th song is a solo Party Next Door song. The 11th song is Used To featuring Lil Wayne, which I believe was also written by Quentin Miller. Six Man is the 12th song. I believe that was also written by Quentin Miller. Company featuring Travis Scott, I believe was also written by Quentin Miller. So out of the 17 songs on this project, 10 of them were not written by Drake. Allegedly, of course. That's over half the project and definitely the most memorable songs off the project that simply weren't written by Drake. Of course, this got exposed throughout his beef with me.
But what if they never got exposed? So as much that has been exposed, you think all the exposing is just over? Like it's just done? It's just done. I'm talking to y'all OVO glazers out there. You think all the exposing is just finished? There's no more exposing to do. That was it? Hell no. So imagine if we didn't get any exposure. We never knew none of this. They would have still been running around like, yeah, Drake write all this music. How you know, though? Like, how you know? No. Yeah, you don't.
Meek Mill when Meek decided to tweet about it. And the part that sucks is the guy behind the scenes, Quentin Miller, was never fully able to form a full-fledged career or identity.
Bro, man, that shit's sad, bro. It's sad, man. Y'all look up Quentin Miller, his story, man.
In the industry of his own after all this controversy. Drop a comment if you want a full documentary on his come up, his whole story, his actual association with Drake, where he is now. I've been wanting to do.
That'd be dope. That'd be fire. Cause and that'll help him. Bro. Cause I think this is 3 weeks ago he came out with a song. I don't think it did nothing. Like that joint, I was like, damn, that's fucked up, bro. I think a nice documentary will help him, bro. For real.
To do this story for a long time. I think it's definitely worth telling. But like I said before, right? It's not just the fact that Drake was having someone else write his records behind the scenes that was bad. It was the fact that these people behind the scenes writing these songs were always treated poorly, or if Drake had his way, they were left in the dust. That's why The Weeknd says, I thank God I never signed my life away, because if he did, he'd be locked up in that OVO sweatshop, giving his biggest hits away to Drake. We're getting sidetracked here though. So the 4 subgenres of Drake, right? So the pop records, the one dances, controllers, etc. That's normal, that's standard for, you know, a pop artist to get help on songs like that in that genre. So, okay, we'll scratch that. The R&B records. We know that Drake writes R&B records for other people. So, you know, if he gets a little help on his as well, whatever, it is what it is. Then you got the bangers that make up the majority of the track lists of projects like If You're Reading This Is Too Late or Her Loss or, well, that's really it. The other ones are muddied with stretched out track lists and a bunch of filler. But that type of subgenre, it took people a long time to accept the fact that Drake had help on those records. Some people still don't accept that fact. The way I look at it is, I mean, for me, If You're Reading This Is Too Late, it was devastating to hear that he got a bunch of help on it. That project came out in my graduating year of high school, and just because of how, you know, energetic, how fun of a project it was, it's always been my favorite Drake project. It could be nostalgia, whatever it is. I love that project, and that's why I'm so disappointed that we're getting the type of music we are from Drake today, where it seems like, for the most part, he's kept the same formula, but lost 90% of the inspiration, of the energy behind these songs. And at this point, I look at Drake like a pop star, right? He'll never be, you know, the greatest rapper alive in my eyes. So, in my personal opinion, with these more, you know, club-focused records, in my eyes, I'm like, I loved If You're Reading This Is Too Late so much. Yes, it put a blemish on his legacy, the fact that they were written by a ghostwriter, but at this point, I would take ghost-written, strong club bangers over the half-baked music that we get from Drake today. If it takes a ghostwriter for Drake to concoct music on the level of If You're Reading This Is Too Late, I'll take that any day over him penning up his own songs that are sexy, sleepy.
I don't want to hear his pen. I don't want to hear his pen. I just want to hear his delivery.
Lullaby love music. You can miss me with that. I'll take Ghostwriter Drake coming with some bangers over the balding bearded BBL.
Hey, I'm gonna do a pose. Y'all want the Ghostwriter Drake or y'all want the writer Drake?
Belligerent buffoon that we hear in the booth today. But now that just leaves one subgenre of Drake music, right? The R&B records, the pop records, the bangers, and then you have the timestamp records. Those have always been Drake's most personal records. Drake is on record stating that a record like that he can never get help with because it's a direct reflection of where he's at in life. That's why they're timestamp records. It's literally where he is in that present moment, reflecting on everything going on throughout his career, throughout his life, etc. How could you get someone else to write that? Well, leave it to Drake, of course, he'll find a way. But before we get into that, Lawbreeds and Gentlegrams, I gotta tell you guys about something that, unlike Drake, a bunch of...
That's like, all right, y'all know K-Dot did a story on how his father and Top Dog met when he was working at the restaurant. All you do is got to know about somebody's life. You could write it. You could write a soundtrack to their life. So, I mean, people know what Drake going through that's around him. All you do is got to tell him what, hey, look, this a rough draft of my rap. Make it better. Or, hey, I'm going through this, going through that. Yo, this girl, this girl. They could easily write a rhyme about that. That's easy. That's easy.
You guys have been telling me you've been Anita Max winning some free cash from playing mobile games. So I want to put all you guys on to something that almost seems too...
Yo, y'all tap in to that. It's in the description. Y'all interested.
And I'm not talking about the collaboration between Drake and Kendrick. What I'm talking about is a couple months before Drake was exposed for carrying Quentin Miller around like a pocket penman, Kendrick released To Pimp a Butterfly, where he had a track called King Kunta. And on that track, he rapped, I could dig rapping, but a rapper with a ghostwriter, what the F happened? Now, if you're young, you probably don't remember, but Kendrick and Drake were actually trading subliminals at each other ever since Control, with some shots being very obvious. Kendrick rapping, nothing's been the same since they dropped Control and tucked a sensitive rapper back in his pajama clothes. Like, that was obviously about Drake. Drake had a verse on the remix to Future's song with the word I can't say on YouTube. It's the synonym of poo, the S word, essentially. Yeah, he had a song there talking about, you know, I took you on my tour, then I took my tour to your city or my son there. Whatever, these were blatant, obvious subliminals, but... when Kendrick rapped, I could dig rapping, but a rapper with a ghostwriter, what happened? No one knew what that was about. Until Drake got hit with the Rico. Not the literal Rico, but the song Rico with Drake and Meek Mill was actually written by Quentin Miller. Meek found out, trigger fingers turned to Twitter fingers, and the rest is history. Now, if Meek Mill wasn't half asleep during that beef, that would have been the end of Drake. That allegation alone, I mean, on a side note, it's crazy how many...
Bro, it's like the simple songs that Drake do, them fire joints, that simple, no bars. If those got ghostwriters, and he rapping on the timestamp joints, like those joints is like, them joints got syllables in them. They gotta be ghostwritten. If the simple joints got ghostwriters, right? Why wouldn't the bar heavy, you know what I'm saying, the joints he rapping, like going in? Maybe it's Chat GPT. And y'all know we get AI late. The overall public gonna get everything late. Celebrities get everything first. I remember when the BlackBerry came. Matter of fact, remember Jay-Z, the two ways and all of that? They had that stuff first. Then we got it. They get everything first because they're the ones that's gonna promote it to us. So yeah, Drake been dealing with AI before we got it. Yeah, man, Drake been had AI. Drake been had that AI. I don't know. Y'all let me know what y'all think, man. I'm gonna leave a link in the description for Rapaholics, man. Tap in with him for putting in his work. This is a beautiful breakdown, and yes, he's gonna cook some more. So you better go check it out. Big Kish signing out. I'm going, y'all.